Hello and welcome to Homeschool Moms Unfiltered. We are your messy, imperfect homeschool mom friends. I'm your host, Amanda, and my amazing co-host is...
Hello, I'm Megan.
Perfect. So we are continuing with our Unfiltered Bites. Today, we're going to talk Outschool. But before we do that, we would love to invite you to just take a moment and follow, subscribe, share, all that jazz, right? You can find all of our episodes, our regular ones, our book clubs, and our Unfiltered Bites anywhere you enjoy podcasts. We're also on all of the social media sites doing the things. So come find us, give us a like, a share. All of it helps with the algorithm. You know how it goes. And we really appreciate it. But with that, let's go all in. Let's get to it. Outschool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always still a little bit surprised when I encounter people who aren't familiar with Outschool yet because it just seems so pervasive in the homeschooling world. So if you are not on Outschool yet, here's what you need to know. Just kind of a couple of facts to get you started. So the first thing you need to know is you're missing out, right? There are over 140,000 classes on Outschool. So there is something for everyone over there. You can go over, it's free to create an account. You can peruse the catalog even before you create an account, but it's free to create an account. We have a link in the podcast description that will give you $20 off your first class. But this has been the spine of our homeschool lives since about 2017. Like we take a ton of Outschool classes. So it is definitely a resource you'll want to check out.
Well, yeah. And the other thing I would say around that is that it's not just for homeschooling families, right? Like
True.
we know plenty of kids who go to regular school, but they take extra classes because they're interested in aerodynamics or they want to know a language that's not taught in their school. So it's a huge marketplace. You should absolutely check. You can find almost anything you would like that you want to teach your kid or that your kid is asking for. But number two, it is a marketplace, okay? It's like Etsy or any other marketplace. Educators have interviews, right? They have a behind the scenes interview to be able to actually teach on there. They have to submit their classes and go through an entire approval process that's pretty tedious and arduous. Like they have to have, there's quite a bit on the back end, and they do function as independent contractors. There are two types of classes, mainly two types of classes. There's a wide variety of different things, right? But it's important to know that there is live, where you actually log on and you are there in person at that moment. And then there are the other kind, the asynchronous options, where it is actually just video. Now, if you sign up for a live class and you can't make the class, you can always watch the class later. It's just that your kiddo won't be able to participate in quite the same way, but the video is there available. But there are some classes that you sign up for that are truly just video based, and the kiddo puts their assignment in the chat or they message the teacher with their assignment and the teacher will give feedback, but there's not any actual live video interaction between the student and the teacher.
True story. So, yeah. So, as Amanda said, it is a marketplace, right? That means that not all classes are created equal out of 140,000 classes. There's a review system on Outschool. Read the reviews, read them carefully. One of the things I like to do also is look and see the ratio of classes taught to number of reviews. Because if you have somebody who's taught 300 classes and they have 2 reviews, there's a reason why people aren't reviewing that class, right? They might not want to share their thoughts or hurt someone's feelings or something like that, right? Now, I will say the ratio of completed
I'm
learners
bad
to
about
reviews
that.
is you must do reviews. Yeah, I know. So the ratio of learners taught to reviews is there will be a spread, right? Like if somebody's taught 100 kids, there's almost no time they're going to have like 80, 90, 100 reviews. Like it's always going to be way, way less because there are plenty of people who don't give the review, don't take the time. So I'm not saying anytime you see that gap, it's like a big red flag, right? I'm saying when you see a much larger disparity in that number, that's always like one of those little red flags that I look for when I'm looking for classes for my own kids. As Amanda said, there's videos, right? Go on the class listing and then go to the teacher's profile, watch the videos. If there's not a video for me, that's another red flag because I want to see how that teacher communicates. I have my third child is an empath. How you communicate with him is exceptionally important. So I am looking for their communication, their delivery style, any tips they're going to give me about the way they manage their classroom or their philosophy on learning. I'm looking for all of that. Ask questions. Before you register for a class, you can totally message the teacher who teaches the class and say, hey, how does this happen? Or how does that happen? Or what should I expect here? Uh, Go ahead, ask questions. Educators are more than happy to answer questions and kind of fill you in so that it's a good fit for everybody, which is always a good thing. And then also ask other parents for recommendations. There are some Outschool Facebook groups that are out there that are kind of like official groups. There's a whole bunch of unofficial groups, but then you can also ask, I mean, you can ask in almost any homeschool group, like secular homeschool groups, family groups, things like that. You can ask in our Facebook group, Homeschool Moms Unfiltered, and just say, like, hey, I have a kid who's super into watercolors. What would you recommend? You know, she's kind of tapped out on YouTube and needs more specific instruction or more detailed instruction, more rich instruction. What would you recommend? Get advice from other parents because that's going to be a really rich recommendation to finding the right class.
For sure. So number 4 is that generally speaking, right, overall, the environment is progressive and inclusive. Okay. We cannot guarantee that it totally 100% is and that you're not going to every once in a while find that bizarre outlier. But generally speaking, it is very progressive and inclusive. You won't find fake science or completely like, I'm sorry, what did you say that? Like, that's not how history unfolded at all in any way, shape, or form, right? That's not going to happen on Outschool. That's that whole part of what I said before with it being a marketplace and the classes being vetted. So you can just really trust the process a bit more than you can on some other sites, right? My kiddo just had a class fairly recently about American Thanksgiving, and he was like, it was not on Outschool. And he was like, you will not believe the things that they said. And then they made us make one of those ridiculous like feather crown things. But I just turned mine into an actual crown with jewels and stuff because I knew that the feather thing was like really not appropriate. You're not going to get that kind of stuff on Outschool.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is good for him. I love that. I love that kiddo. Yeah. So check it out. You know, it is a marketplace. Do your due diligence. The other thing I should mention too, because I said there's 140,000 classes, there's a lot of really nice filters in the catalog. So yes, it's 140,000, but the first thing you're going to do is put your kid's age in there. The next thing you're going to do is filter if you want live or asynchronous. Then you can filter for time of day. You can filter for all kinds of stuff. You can filter for price because you will find a wide variety of prices on Outschool as well. It's a marketplace, right? So you can narrow down that 140,000 pretty well. So yeah, check it out. We will put a link in the description here that'll give you $20 off if you're new. And feel free to DM us or come to our Facebook group and ask for recommendations between 3 kids over, what are we talking now? 7 years on Outschool. Got some fair recommendations for you. Amanda's got a slew of recommendations as well. We've both always kind of got our ear to the ground too with other homeschool mom friends. What are people liking? What are people not liking? So we're always happy to pass that along as well. So that just about wraps us up for this Unfiltered Bite. However, we wanted to remind you that our Patreon memberships are on sale through January 4th, 2025 for 50% off your first month. So it's the holiday season. You're taking care of everybody else. Get yourself a treat too. Come join us for Mom's Night Out. Come join us for a Q&A. Download a unit study and, take a little bit of research off your plate if you're looking to put something together for your kids. We've done the work for you. It's all there. So use code BITEOUT. There's a link in the description, and it'll also break out the benefits of joining kind of all the different things that we offer over on Patreon as well. So we would love to welcome you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's it for us today. We would love to also invite you to join our Facebook group or find us on social media. You can find us everywhere at Homeschool Moms Unfiltered. feel free to ask any more questions about Outschool. You can DM us if you have some really long specific thing. We're happy for you to join our group and ask a more general question, seeking class recommendations and things like that anytime. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, we hope to see you there. In the meantime, happy homeschooling.
Absolutely.